Yo, 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 yo. How are you feeling? All right, man. In case you're unaware, I am Cam from the Port. And yes, you are reading the title correctly. But before we get into that, made in the 1980s. It's a podcast. It's a podcast I do weekly. And we got a new episode coming up. I think it is the favorite childhood athletes episode. I believe that's the one. And I'd like you to listen. I'd like you to watch it and you know, support the best way you can with your free time. But yes, made in the 1980s. You know it, you know it, you know it. So you read the title right. And even though I'm probably not in the core demo, we're gonna talk about the CMAs. I watched it. I watched it from one of the coolest hip happening places in Nashville, Tennessee. So I wasn't too far from the actual festivities. And that's what's always cool about this. Before we start this live, I want to let you know that I am not a diehard country fan. I am not an aficionado in this space. I am not someone who is well versed on all the ins and outs. And that's why I want to have this conversation as a surface level. I'll even say even a novice. I'm good with names. I'm good with dates. And I'm good with just, casual fan stuff. But this one, I want to open up my audience a little bit. Pause if necessary. I'm gonna open up my audience a little bit and give you guys some free space to educate me, because where music sits today, where music is sitting today, I would say that if there is a top 5 or a top 10 of just artists that are next level or elite, I would say currently country music is holding 2 of those cards, potentially 3. And I think on a vocal talent scale, country music is holding probably like 5 of the best voices currently in music right now. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for real, man. Again, watch the CMAs. First time ever watching the entire um award show, and I must say it's pretty cool. It's pretty impressed by it. Um I know that I was probably supposed to watch like the Beyonce year or whatever it was. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't live here then. But um I say one thing about Nashville that's very cool is that everything is here. From a music standpoint, from an entertainment industry standpoint, everything is here. You um you could probably get yourself in the TV here, you get yourself in the music, you can get yourself in the movies. Um, if you want to just be a performer, like a performer just around the city, you can do that here. I think that um, this is a great spot for any musician. Any musician. I'm not gonna I like I'm super hip or all in on the entire hip hop scene here either. I know that there are a lot of people putting in the work and doing their thing, but I will say that people that are considered actual musicians get more love, like your drummers, your guitarists, and that's church, and that's country, that's R&B, everything. Just all the people that play instruments get more love. The true core musicians do get a lot of love here. So it is, I think it can be much easier for you to break into the music industry here in Nashville if you play an instrument. Um, some people feel like that's changing. I really don't think so. I think the opportunities just get greater. So I think so if you are a musician and you are from a small town, I would encourage you to look at Nashville. as a spot that you can be in. You know, you don't necessarily have to be in LA, New York, or Atlanta. I think it's better to be here than Chicago, even though Chicago's a much bigger city. That's just how I feel. And we can talk about that if time permits. But man, I'll tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed this. So now, again, me being the novice, right? Get a chance to sit at a watch party with a record label. I'll leave the label nameless because I don't know how the politics of country radio work. So I'm not going to deep dive into who I was with and where I was at, but just know that I was sitting around asking questions and taking in the atmosphere with people that were far more savvy, far more educated than me on the country music scene and where it is. And the first thing I learned was that there's a lot of politics that exists in the CMAs, just like it is with the Grammys, like it was with the Source Awards and the BET Awards, and the American Music Awards, the Vibe Awards, the Kids Choice Awards. Well, actually, that's probably the most unbiased award show period because kids actually vote. So I'll say all that, but um, I did learn that a lot of politics goes involved, and this was the first time that I saw, like at the end of the show, where they showed that the how many voters? There's like 6,500 voters. And basically, hey, you know what? This is the committee, and these are the voters, and this is how it all broke down. I do like that aspect of it. I wonder if everybody else is that cut and dry. But I think the reactions of the people that I was watching kind of made me think like, wow, I need to ask more questions and pay more attention to this genre because it seems like gatekeeping is real based on what I've heard. That just big bank take little bank as far as like your bigger corporate engines versus the independent labels. Um, and from what I was told, please don't get mad at the messenger or the relayer or the interpreter here. But like they award show ain't all based in the talent realm like that either. So let's get to it. Chris Stapleton won a lot of awards last night, right? Now, on the surface level, I didn't see a problem with that. I didn't see a problem with it. But as the night went on, and shout out to this young lady who I'll leave nameless, but she was like, yo, WTF. Like he wins everything. And I was like, oh man. I was like, oh, I'm like, was it not supposed to happen? Like I thought Chris Stapleton was the man. And sure enough, he is. Um, but it forced me to ask this question after I seen her reaction. And maybe to some of you out there who are avid country listeners, avid country fans, you can help me out here. Is Chris Stapleton still winning awards because of Tennessee whiskey? I think that's a fair question because much like the Grammys just kind of give Kendrick Lamar awards after that Good Kid, Mad City thing, it appears, I don't know, it appears that Chris Stapleton is getting that kind of love as well. But, in the world we live in, do we really question Chris Stapleton as a vocalist? I don't think so. I don't think so. But and I learned sometimes your just ability to just again sing at a high level will grant you opportunities and accolades just at your natural raw ability that you don't necessarily have to have the hottest song or the biggest song of the year. You're just that dude or that chick when it comes to what you do. And I threw that question out and I got some interesting responses. Excuse me. I threw that question out and got some interesting responses because you know, he also won the award for White Horse, and that was Song of the Year. Now, I won't lie. After I seen this listing, and granted, I don't know a lot about a lot, but there's no way that I thought I had some help wasn't going to win that award. Sorry, I just thought that's where it was going. Thought that's where it was going, and but no, um, Chris Stapleton, he cleaned that up as well. So he sings, he writes, he's incredible. He got single of the year, which was again, man. I now single of the year. Let's talk about it because this is definitely where the people around me were kind of in an uproar because I guess in the world of country, White Horse wasn't that big of a record. I don't know. Y'all got to tell me. Y'all got to tell me. I tell you what, I heard three of these songs. I heard three of these songs. I couldn't get away for three of these songs. Through work, just being outside, wherever. Um, I had this as a two-way race between I Had Some Help and a bar song, Tipsy by Shabuzi. So in my world, I thought Post Malone featuring Morgan Wallen or Shabuzi was going to win this award. But I was honestly leaning more towards Post Malone winning the award because I think even though Shabuzi has a really big record with a bar song, I do think that the numbers for that are more casual fan base. I think the numbers on that is more non-country listeners. I could be wrong on that. But because Shabuzi is also the only artist that here that night. Well, not that he's the only one that can, but he's the only person that did also perform at the BET Awards that just passed. And I think he'll probably perform at the Grammys. I don't know. It seems like the right thing to do. But Chris Stapleton won that award, and nobody seemed to agree that he should have won Single of the Year. So that's all I have on it. I'd love to know what y'all think on this, especially the people that actually listen to country music avidly. Again, I'm not even casual fan level. I just like what I hear and I react and I will go and listen. I will check out a couple projects. I will check out a run of songs. I'll watch your documentaries, but I am by no means an actual real country music fan. So I am leaning on all of you out there to hit me to the game. Why did Chris Stapleton damn near sweep, I think, last night? Is he still getting the residuals from Tennessee Whiskey, or is just the rest of the world really sleep? White Horse was really the greatest song. He's really that damn good, and that's just what it is. I love your thoughts. I love your thoughts. I would love your thoughts as I give my thoughts on Shabuzi. So, obviously, tensions were a little high. There was a Black CMA event. But people of white and other showed up. I was not in attendance, but I was privy to the conversation. And the conversation was, yo, think Shabuzi gonna win these awards? You think he gonna get Single of the Year? You think he'll get Best New Artist? And it was kind of mixed. It was kind of mixed reactions from what I understand, because you know, obviously there's stiff competition in the field. So now listen here. The thing with Best New Artist, and I think that people get this category confused. Sometimes your best new artist isn't the person with the biggest song. Sometimes your best new artist isn't necessarily the most popular person in the moment. Sometimes, and seemingly now, more often than not, And I would say I can't pinpoint to who it was, but it was a Grammys within the last 15 years. And I think somebody won Best New Artist, and we have not heard from that person again. And I want to say they might have had the biggest song of the year. Saying that to say, I could see a niche award show like the Country Music Awards giving their award to the person that they feel is going to stay in country and represent country in the greatest capacity. And not for nothing, they let the woman beat out all the men. I, to me, it seems kind of textbook when you look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? But yes, many people were thinking, "Oh, Shabuzi should win this." I'll be honest. Well, outside of the performance, you couldn't have told me Mitchell Tenpenny wasn't the guy for this award just off of the songs I heard him performing last year alone. So I would have personally picked him off the bat until I saw the performance that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But if I can get my real serious thoughts on Shabuzi real quick, I don't I don't dislike him as an artist. I haven't heard enough from him. I know that I went to one of his shows. Well, I was attempting to go to one of his shows, but I'll keep it real. Didn't really feel it. I did not hear a bar song there. So he did not open with that. But the music didn't quite grab me personally, right? Um, I think there is a gift and a curse to when you have a hit record that was already a hit record, and the biggest or best pieces of your record you didn't write yourself. I think you kind of put yourself in quite the trick bag here because yes, is the song a hit? Unquestionably. But however, it's a hit because what Jaquan said the first time was just hit record material. You know, white people have been rocking to Tipsy back when we were. So this song is grandfathered in. You can't get this wrong, you know? So I do wonder how real is the hype on Shabuzi because we haven't really got single 2, 3, and 4, pun intended. You know what I'm saying? We haven't got the other joints. Does he have more heat? Because that's going to be a big question for him, just like it is any other artist. And we can open up the spectrum because it did seem like a couple shots got thrown his way. Or or it already kind of seems like maybe country as an overall um genre or an industry in itself hasn't been the kindest to the young brother. So I do want to be careful with how I speak about him. But I know that winning cures all. And if he got some more slaps in him that are more relying on his pen than to something that we've all heard before, I think the trajectory is really big and bright for him. I think what he can do could be great for the space. But right now, I think it's more hype and the black demo specifically wanting the black guy to win, but it's just not time for that yet. And not for nothing, I look at the way Jelly Roll's been treated because he didn't win anything. He didn't win the awards that I definitely thought he was going to win. And that is that lets you know that kind of lets you know the argument that I definitely hear about often here in Nashville is the argument of old country versus new country. There is still a very big purchasing power heavy population that doesn't consider a lot of this up tempo, pop influence, rock influence, hip hop influence, music to be country music. They just don't consider it. I mean, look, they gave a tribute to George Strait. Somebody in the audience with me was like, "Yo, did he die? Like, why are they doing all this?" And I was like, "No, I think he about to perform." And sure enough, George Strait with the guitar, getting busy, with the homies. Brooks and Dunn, been around forever, you know. Jelly Roll performed with Brooks and Dunn, and then he performed solo with Keith Urban on guitar, and they smoked that. Jelly Roll was performing his heart out. He had one of the most talked about songs and albums, period. This is just broad scope of music. And he walked away with nothing. And all things considered, in this space, he 2 for 2. And this is albums. We not talk about singles. He's got number ones. He's been rattling off number ones for a good 24 months now. And he didn't win anything. So I look at that as a perspective as well. I hate to make all things music a race thing. So I don't want to do that with Shabuzi at all because again, I'm not savvy in the space of country music. I just know that there is an old guard, new guard thing. And this, I hear this from fans. I hear this from people in the industry. You hear this depending on what bars you walk into. A lot of the younger demo, they don't mess with the old country. But then there's some that's raised on it, so they don't appreciate a lot of the stuff that's happening to the genre either. The people in country music are very protective of country music, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I wish hip hop adopted that more, and we adopted it in a better and a greater way. Like it looks classier, even though, hey, look, behind the scenes, it may be getting total like mudslinging. It could be total debauchery and tomfoolery, but I tell you what, front facing, these the powers that be and the people that are in country music, they don't let you know their disdain for anybody. They just say, you know what, I mess with this, or I like this, or this is country music to me, and people just seem to rock with it. So my second question is, what does it mean when Jelly Roll doesn't win anything? Like, what does that mean? Even though he's listed as putting out country music and he's obviously doing country music features and collabs, is he not considered country? Are they considered that more rock? Is it more gospel? Is it like what are they calling Jelly Roll's music for him to walk away with nothing? I think that's very important because for all things considered, I feel that, you know, if this was if this was hip hop, it'd be a no-brainer he wins all the awards. Um, we haven't seen the Grammys yet, and I haven't seen them for many nominations, but I would expect with the last 2 years he's had that he's walking away with an armful of awards. But then again, award shows have lost their luster now that we know how the sausage is made. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that there's a committee and there's a voting period and you got to submit. You got like all these things are very relevant and prevalent within the space of award shows. But if the award shows are no longer here to highlight the top men and women of the genre, then what are they here for? They had Jelly Roll and Lainey Wilson. They were performing, they were hosting, they were 60% of this show. And depending on, like, if you didn't watch it from the board, no, even if you watch it from the beginning, it's the Lainey and Jelly show. And they were everywhere. Hey, what's happening? They were everywhere. And then yet between both of them, there was one award that just seems weird to me. Um, you know, but again, how real is the old guard, new guard? country battle that exists right now. Not making this up. I hear this from the people that are actually in it. Let's move forward. Post Malone. Post Malone. I whispered to the missus. Well, I didn't really whisper. I was like, yo, he just killed White Iverson with this. I don't even know what song he's doing, but this way hotter than White Iverson. Hey, listen, I was never the biggest Post Malone fan, right? I wasn't the biggest Post Malone fan when they tried to package him as being like hip hop, or when hip hop just started adopting him. I never thought that was the right move. And then I heard Stoney. Stoney did not sound like a rap album to me. So it had rhythmic undertones to it, but that's fine. But I never looked at Post Malone as a rapper, never looked at him as hip hop. And I wanted to, oh, you know what? And when I seen him perform live, him and Post Malone and 21 Savage at Northerly Island, Chicago, I want to say it was like 2017, 2018. I was like, oh, he's trap Brian Adams. That's what this is. Like, Post Malone is trap Brian Adams. And I can get with this. And sure enough, a lot of the songs he was doing, I'm like, yo, these are actually heat. I don't mind him being in this bag. And as he stepped further away from, hip hop rap scene, and he's diving deeper into the rock country, he sounds at home. He sounds like this is where he belongs. This sounds like the play all along. And look, yeah, maybe it was a little collective pandering to get the buzz up for him. Maybe that is what it is. And you just got to charge it to the game. Um, but I also think it's okay for artists to get in and be who they really want to be and be themselves. I mean, look, Pink did it. Pink did it, and she is regarded as a greater artist because of it. There's only so much. Unfortunately, again, the Black American consumer is very fickle. On average, we love you one minute, the next we don't. You can say something, you can do something, and we off you. Sometimes it don't matter if you got the slaps. You could be around too long with your slaps. I don't know why we're like that. We're gonna have a separate live about that. But I'll say that seeing Post Malone at the CMAs performing, that made sense to me. That didn't look like pandering. That didn't look like cosplay. That didn't look like disrespect for a culture, a genre, a group of people. Salute to Post Malone. You know, I still do like the collabs that he did with 21 Savage. Those are still some of my favorite songs of his. But to be honest, when he's in his rock bag, that's my favorite Post Malone. Sorry. And I won't, no, I'm not sorry, because he should stick there. He can really play guitar. He's really from Dallas. Like, why not do the thing that you were truly raised on? You dig? Like, why not? Just makes sense to me. Let's move forward some more. Bailey Zimmerman. So look, I had no idea who this young man was before this award show. But I tell you this, that performance from Bailey Zimmerman was so fire. I had to check for his album. Hey, look, whenever you just got the big show randomly on stage with you as you play beer pong and then you hop on the shoulders, you got to win for me. It's a W for me. It's a W for me. And he definitely looked like he's having a ball. He again, another guy that's done the Shabuzi thing, right? Which, I mean, do we credit Nelly and like Tim McGraw for this? I guess, because it wasn't like the first time this happened when like somebody redid Country Grammar or EI or something like that. I don't know. I forget at the moment, but I will say that it appears that country music is in a state where the new white kids of America are just so much cooler than their parents, and they're far less racist than their grandparents. which makes them 3 times as cooler. So you're dealing with a whole new, just cooler generation of lessons, just like white Americans. And they are incorporating everything that they got. You know what I'm saying? Like country artists wear Jordans now or Nike Blazers. They talk about cash and how nothing moves but the money. Like they out here, they sipping yak, they driving pickup trucks, and you know what I'm saying, and they own these hoes. You know what I'm saying? Like they are very cool. You can tell that, you know, these kids still listen to Eminem. You know, they're very aware of who Jay-Z is, but you know, but they do respect a lot of the country artists before them. Like I'm sure they damn well know who Garth Brooks is. They know who Dolly Parton is. They know who George Strait is. But this is their flip. You know, this is their flip on it. This is their interpretation of it. It's gotten really rebellious. We're back to like rebel music, and out like not Confederate flag rebels though, but just like you can't tell me what to do rebel music. And that seems to be the changing of the guard here. Things are getting more soulful. They're getting more spiritual based, and I think that's honestly good for their genre because again, outside of UK artists, um, we're losing a lot of the soul and the passion in just American music in general. So it's wild that it's showing up with the 20 somethings and maybe the early 30s somethings in country music. But officially, off the performance alone, gonna check out this Bailey Zimmerman cat. Seems like he's pretty fun young guy, man. I might have to check out one of his shows if he's out here anytime soon. That's for sure. That is for sure. Um, one more thing I want to talk about, man, is the Warren Treaty. So look, again, surface level listener. But if you told me who was the vocal duo of the year at the CMAs, at AMAs, at the VMAs, at the BET Awards, at the Grammys, I'm going to tell you the Warren Treaty. The Warren Treaty, since the first time I seen them, I think it's been like a year and a half ago at Analog, another spot here in Nashville. I've watched them perform at football games. I've watched them perform for troops. I've watched them perform at WrestleMania. I've watched them perform, I think, at SummerSlam. There isn't a stage or a commercial that exists where the Warren Treaty haven't come through and shut it down. They are the greatest singing tandem in the world right now. People are seeing the Warren Treaty and crying before they finish their songs. And it don't matter. It could be if they singing America the Beautiful, they could be singing Yes, Jesus Loves Me. It does not matter. They are two of the most soulful and passionate beings on this earth. I don't think you'll find two people you can put together in any genre that can sing better than they can right now. I do not understand how they lost this award. Just don't get it. It ain't a black thing. It ain't a country thing. It's a do you hear their voices and everybody else's? That's it. So when they said it was politics, I was like, this gotta be a piece of the politics that y'all be talking about because and I know they're not signed to y'all, but they go crazy. I don't think you'll find a man and a woman together right now that sings better, anything better, any song. You can put any song. I guarantee you the Warren Treaty sings that song better than everybody else. I just believe that. So unfortunate they didn't win anything. And hey man, just keep doing y'all thing. I'll say that. I'll say just make sure that you continue to be great because man, the world thinks y'all are great. The people that know, they know for real. And you guys are amazing. Never stop. Never stop. You guys are great. And before I get to my last point, because I've never seen this before, I want somebody out there that's a real fan of country music to tell me why are Parmalee being snubbed. At least that's how they feel. One of them beat somebody up, they cuss somebody out. Did somebody take an exec's girl? Like, what happened? I learned a lot about these guys the last couple of days, and these brothers are pretty bad. Won't lie to you. Like, they get busy, and they obviously got the #1 records. They got the resume to prove it. So please help me out here, from you real country fans out there. Why was Parmalee snubbed? I need to know. I want to hear from y'all. Like, I can't answer it educatedly. I can just listen to the inner workings of the people there, and the people around them, their team. And again, I know the label that probably doesn't have a lot of votes, but why? It seemed like everybody seemed like it's weird. So that's my final question, but want to say this, and then I'll get out of here. The biggest award of the night, right? Was always the last award of the night. And that award is Entertainer of the Year. Now, at this point, I'm thinking Entertainer of the Year has to go to somebody that we've already seen tonight, right? So as I'm looking at this show, and I see Luke Combs, who I feel bad for because he hasn't won anything, but I've seen his name so many times. See Chris Stapleton. Now, he's already won quite a few awards. So him winning this one wouldn't be a shocker. Got Lainey Wilson, also a person we've seen all night. She's there, giving her the award as she closes out the show. Makes perfect sense. Then Jelly Roll, he's on there. Hey, maybe. He ain't win nothing else. But man, has he not been entertaining tonight? Isn't this what we want to see? Like, don't we need him to get this award and close out like he did? I think it was the best new artist category. But no, the award didn't go to anybody that was there. And that was weird to me because usually, well, at least I thought, award shows also give awards to the people that are going to actually be there. So when Morgan Wallen won this award, I was super shocked because they haven't given him an award for the song that he's been featured on, which was one of the biggest songs of the year. So Posty and Morgan, depending on, I don't know, y'all can tell me, were they snubbed or not? Is this casual fan hype, or is this a real thing? But for Morgan Wallen to win and then not be there, but then also to have his name said wrong by OG in the country space felt kind of shady to me. Like, how you say the last name of the night wrong? His name ain't Morgan Whalen. His name is Morgan Wallen. Just seemed a little fishy to me. I never thought that we close out the award show with a person winning an award that was not there. Now, again, because I don't know much about this space. Well, I don't know a lot about this space. Apparently, country music does not really like Morgan Wallen. At least that's the rumblings. Like, I guess the image that he presents, what he does when songs and albums are coming out. Of course, the infamous video, which I'm on record, I don't think Morgan Wallen is racist. But we can have a real conversation about that whenever y'all ready. But all of that said, and he's the run that he's been on is unprecedented. So I think In hindsight, nobody was upset that he won the award. It was just kind of a shocker because he's literally the only person on this list of nominees that's not there. And they're giving him an award, and it's the award. Sure, he's earned it, but you have another viable option just sitting there in Jelly Roll. Again, what does this say when Jelly Roll doesn't win anything? Questions that I have. Hopefully, you guys can answer them for me. Hey, also let me know. Hey, yo, what's the real word? You country music fans, you country music heads out there. What's the real story with Morgan Wallen, man? Hit me to the game. Like I want to know. I'm only here for the music. I don't really get into the politics of this at all. I don't. This is not my bag. It's not my real wheelhouse. But I'm like, is it just because like he's just on some real, just like rebel ish? Like, is that the thing? That's why they don't really mess with dude like that. I'd love to know. Um, of course, I know more than I should, but I'm not gonna share that with y'all. But let me know. Let me know. And hey, I hope y'all enjoyed this live. Um, yeah, couldn't give you a deep dive. I just wanted to show you tell you what I've seen. What are my thoughts about it? Again, man, congrats to everybody that won awards. It's a pretty cool looking award show. You know what I'm saying? All the performances were great. Um, a lot of you young artists that perform in over your tracks, you'll get killed out here on this stage with these country artists. They'll wipe the floor with y'all, mop the floor with y'all, wipe the floor with y'all. Like it was cool to see so many just instruments and live singing and live recordings. Like it's amazing. Performance wise, amazing show. I like seeing amazing performances at award shows. I miss that. That's why I don't watch a lot of award shows now because a lot of the performances just aren't great. And everybody's concert ain't worth going to. But I tell you what, everybody I seen last night, I could definitely see checking out this show, even if I'm unfamiliar with the music. Sometimes you're just good. If when you're a great performer, I don't need to know your songs. I'll catch the vibe. I'll feel the energy of how you're killing it, and then that will get my attention enough. That's how I think. That's how I feel. You're entitled to feel the way you feel. Thank you for listening, for watching. Um, prepare to listen and watch Made in the 1980s Friday morning. Episode goes live, number 37. Saturday, the YouTube video goes up. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel because, hey, you just should. I'm ramping up. Always and consensually. It's love.